What do the 16 personalities do to kill their relationships? Wow, Frank, very cheerful topic. That's what we're talking about today. What is it about your personality type that could be sabotaging your relationships? I don't know why I'm yelling. This video is sponsored by unnecessary yelling. ESTPs, despite being one of the types who typically have an easier time finding relationships, are one of the types that struggles to keep relationships. This is because of their preference for very practical thinking and action. If they think something, they typically either say it or do it without spending a lot of time thinking it over. This can get them into trouble in relationships because they don't spend much time thinking about how their words might impact those they care about. They might be accused of being thoughtless when it comes to romantic situations, even going so far as being called a jerk in worst case scenarios. That is such a worst case scenario, being called a jerk. Oh. The lack of tact and emotional consideration is what can really kill a relationship for ESTPs. ESFPs can kill relationships by being a bit immature. Being young at heart is great, and it's nice to have a partner or friend who keeps that spirit alive, but sometimes situations call for harder decisions or an air of seriousness. It can be difficult when you have a serious matter you want to discuss and an ESFP brushes it off or says, I'll deal with that later. My taxes? What does that matter? Deal with that later. There's an extension, right? Their tendency to downplay more serious discussions or events can make others feel like the relationship they have is more of a game than a relationship, which can drive people away, which is not the direction we want people to go in a relationship. Have you ever heard the phrase, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy? I haven't. Not till I read it off the screen just now. So this is the problem ISTJs can face in their relationships, essentially the opposite of the ISFPs. Now, having a conscientious partner who's organized and cares a lot about work and takes things very seriously can be great. There's a lot of upsides to it. It's a solid foundation for a relationship. But most people want to be with a partner who can occasionally wind down or who has like hobbies that they can do together. What can really kill relationships for the ISTJ is forgetting to take time away from their work and business life to spend it with those they care about. If their partner doesn't get this time, they can start to feel like they come in second to the ISTJ's work, even if that isn't actually the case. ISFJs have the problem of being a boiling pot with their emotions. ISFJs are socially aware, they don't like to rock the boat, so given those two things, they're not likely to express it when they don't enjoy something, when they dislike something, because they don't want to ruin the atmosphere. They don't want to harsh the mellow. The problem is that this can lead to a lot of pent-up frustrations that they just sit with until one day they explode. And in a relationship, they explode at their partner and throw out a long list of all the things that they have done wrong, the partner has done wrong, which can immediately kill a relationship, if you couldn't have guessed. The solution for ISFJs here is to learn that it's okay to express something you dislike to a partner or friend, especially if you do it in a calm and respectful manner. After all, people won't often change their behavior if they don't even know they're doing something wrong in the first place. If your partner's nickname for you is Fatty 2x4 and you don't like it, just say so. ESTJs can be the epitome of my way or the highway in relationships, which can be off-putting to others who don't like that sort of thing. Now, don't get me wrong, some people like relationships where someone else takes care of all the big decisions, but for many it can feel like the ESTJ is stomping over their opinions. Just like, you can't see my feet right now, but I'm stomping, right? I'm stomping on your opinions right now. Wow, Frank, you seem to be having fun filming this. I wish I was having fun watching. The ESTJ's stubbornness and rigidness can kill their relationships by making the other person feel like they are more of an employee than an equal and respected partner. And they're not even getting paid a fair wage with health insurance. I mean, come on, guys. All the non-American people are like, why would you get health insurance from your job? Because they like to be the best, and for things to be the best, ENTJs often have really high standards for both themselves and others. Unfortunately, these standards imposed on others can be either unrealistic or just too draining to keep up with. This can lead relationship partners for ENTJs to always feel like they're being tested or judged in relation to how they act, dress, or even think. What can ultimately kill relationships for ENTJs is their partner being burnt out on trying to keep up with their sky-high high expectations. ESFJs can be a little too mama bear at times with the people they care about. A little too protective, a little too catching salmon out of a river. Nah, I'm just joking about the salmon part. While yes, sometimes it can be nice to have someone who reminds you to brush your teeth or checks in on how you're doing every 2 hours, not everyone is gonna want that in their relationship. What really kills their relationship is not giving their partner enough independence. Even in a relationship, people are individuals and they need to have some space and time to do their own things. Sometimes ESFJs fail to recognize this, to the point where maybe it even causes the ESFJ anxiety to let their partner kind of go off and do their own thing. Almost like, am I doing something wrong? Am I neglecting them by not always being with my partner? And this brings it to a point where at the very worst, an ESFJ can become the old ball and chain, where their partner feels like limited and tied down and like they can't do things because their partner doesn't want them like straying too far off without them. Now, ENFJs focus too much on their partner to a point where they forget to think of or develop themselves. Now imagine having a super supportive partner who lifts you up and cares a lot about you, but they don't have any interest or hobbies of their own. Unless you count their hobby being supporting you. I mean, that can be nice for a little while, but it can be hard to connect with the ENFJ on a deeper level if you aren't able to bond over anything more than just the fact that you are in a relationship together. What can ultimately drive a partner away is the feeling that the relationship is just that. It's just a relationship. It's just two people who have a relationship. I'm just using the word relationship over and over. But there isn't that deeper connection with shared interests or ideas. Now, ISTPs, they're not the best at emotions or being considerate of others' feelings. They tell it how they see it, and if your feelings don't agree with that, well, that's not their problem. Or it wouldn't be their problem, but when it involves a relationship they're in and a partner, now suddenly it is a big problem. Now, ISTPs can end up accidentally belittling their partner by pointing out the problems in their partner's ideas or thoughts in the ISTP's notoriously callous manner. And I don't think the ISTPs are trying to be callous. They're just like, well, here, I'm just telling you the facts and the logic. Boom, boom, boom. Here you go. I don't need to wrap it up in some stupid, emotionally sugar-coated whatever. But the thing is, no one likes to be called dumb or to feel dumb or like to be hinted that they are dumb because they have dumb ideas and they did something dumb. And ISTPs, unfortunately, can make people feel dumb pretty easily because ISTPs are so smart. It's just like you feel dumb being around them. If ISTPs are not careful, their facts and logic can drive those they care about away. And as I mentioned earlier, that is the direction you do not want people to go in a relationship. I mean, if they smell bad or something, yeah, they can go away. But you know, if they're in a relationship with you, you get what I'm trying to say. INTPs are known for being a bit quirky and eccentric at times, which some people really like in a partner. But some INTPs take this to a whole nother level where quirky becomes weird and eccentric becomes, how is this person keeping their life together? How are they functioning as a member of society? Should I call a doctor? This can lead INTPs to being not the most socially presentable people at times. Like, oh, you know, you want to go out to a restaurant. I'm not even talking about a fancy restaurant, just like some fast casual thing, you know, you want to go Chipotle or something. But the INTP just stays in their pajamas because they don't care what nobody thinks about them. Not even at Chipotle. Frank, are you saying that wrong on purpose or do you just not know how to say it? Or when you come to visit an INTP and their apartment looks like it hasn't been cleaned in a few weeks or months. But they're like, seems fine to me. I know where everything is. So what can end up killing their relationships is the INTP's lack of concern for how others think about them, which can make their partner feel like they aren't dating someone who takes themselves seriously. Not a good look. Not a good look, player. ISFPs don't often have a strong desire to accomplish things. They view life as less of a race and more of an experience, which has some merits to it, but this can lead to them being slower to get to certain life milestones than other types. You know, like finishing school, getting getting a job, you know, moving out, getting a house, having a kid or whatever, those type of things. Getting potty trained. This can be off-putting for other types because they might view the ISFP as being aimless or not having a lot of willpower or ambition. And then this can lead to a relationship partner feeling like they themselves are stagnant in life, like they aren't moving upwards or making any progress with the ISFP, which can ultimately drive the partner away and kill the relationship. INFPs usually go all in on relationships, too much at times. And that has the unfortunate effect of making them appear clingy to their partner. Having a partner who is really into you is nice. I mean, it's pleasant. It's palatable. But when your partner is too into you, it can feel like they're suffocating you and you don't have any room to do things on your own. It's like you constantly got to be thinking about that other person. And it's like, okay, do I have to bring them along everywhere? Do I have to check in with them? Do I have to make sure they're okay with this? It's not even just doing stuff together. It's just like, okay, am I now responsible for the INFP's emotions as well? Do I have to constantly check in and make sure, oh, how are you doing? You okay? You know, INFPs are generally pretty open to new experiences and they will happily tag along with most hobbies their partner has. And this can get to a point where their partner doesn't feel like they have any alone time, which is needed in every relationship, at least a little. And I know what you're thinking, Frank, aren't INFPs really introverted? And it's like, yeah, INFPs are a pretty introverted type, but when they find that one other person that they really connect with in a relationship or even a close friendship, they do want to kind of be with that person a lot, if not all the time. Like the alone time factor isn't needed as much in that one-on-one relationship for the INFP. They forget that, you know, other people might not feel that intense connection that's just like, it's so nice to be around this person all the time. Like obviously when you're in a relationship with someone, yeah, everyone feels that connection. I feel like INFPs though, it's a really, really deep, intense connection, which not everyone feels the absolute depth of. And INFPs, you just gotta be okay with that, okay? It doesn't mean they don't like you, they're not into you, it just means they're wired a little differently than you. If INFPs aren't careful, they might just drive their partner away by caring too much about them. Ironically, of all the types, ENFPs might be the one where their partners say things like, they're too emotional for me, or they're too much to handle. The newest Netflix show, Too Much to Handle. Not even a good joke. Essentially, ENFPs are hard to contain between their fluctuating emotional states and their rapidly changing interests. They take impulsive to its highest level, and that can be difficult for partners who prefer a bit of organization or even just a little bit of stability in their lives. One day, the relationship is great and the ENFP is happy, they're grooving, they're doing their thing, and then the next day, the ENFP is upset and saying, we got major problems in our relationship, man. And then the next day, they're like, everything's fine. Well, I don't know what I was thinking yesterday. Essentially, they can kill their relationships by not managing their own emotional states or by making impulsive decisions that may impact their partner or their relationship. ENTP's randomness and forgetfulness can cause them trouble in their relationships. They are a type not generally concerned with tradition or remembering details, and this can lead to them forgetting important relationship dates like anniversaries or even not paying enough attention to the things their partner enjoys. Many partners of ENTPs feel like they're in competition for their attention with the many hobbies or interests that the ENTP is constantly switching between. It's like, hey, stop playing ping pong and start talking to me. Why ping pong? I don't know. Stop learning about astrophysics and start learning when my birthday is, because we've been dating for 4 years. You really should know it by now. It doesn't exactly feel good when someone chooses to go do something interesting over spending time with you, because then it makes you feel not interesting. And some of the more blunt ENTPs would be like, well, yeah, you're not as interesting as this thing I'm interested in. Ultimately, what kills relationships for ENTPs is their partner not feeling like they're being given enough attention or being valued enough. Now, INTJs aren't exactly known for being masters of relationships. They're not the smoothest sailors or the smoothest operators, whichever smooth thing, it doesn't matter. They're not either of them. It's not that they're awkward or disorganized, but the biggest pitfall for INTJs is that they can seem or even be a bit apathetic. Now, INTJs they tend to be pretty independent, and they don't feel like they necessarily need a relationship as some of the other types do, which can lead to them not expressing their feelings or appreciation towards their partner. I mean, many INTJs literally just don't feel as much as other types when it comes to relationships. Now, this isn't to say they don't love their partners, but instead, it's not as much of a deep emotional experience as it might be with some of the other types. Like we talked about the INFP, it's this intense emotional thing. For the INTJ, sure, the relationship is important. It's good. It's a human connection, but it's not like the be-all, end-all. The INTJ is off thinking about other stuff most of the time. What ends up killing relationships for the INTJ is their partner not having their emotional needs met, such as being affirmed or reminded that the INTJ cares about them. Being in a relationship with an INFJ is kind of like being in a relationship with a therapist. It can be nice to have someone who understands you and your thoughts, but it can also be a little annoying when they psychoanalyze everything you do and say. Sometimes when you have a disagreement or an argument, or you're just venting about your day, you're just trying to express your feelings. You don't necessarily want to get to the root of why you feel it and how it has to do with your childhood upbringing and all this blah blah blah. But the INFJs, that's what they're going to try to do. If you start talking to them about, you know, things you're frustrated with, or you get into an argument with them, they're going to like bypass the thing you're talking about, go around it and try to figure out, well, why do you think this? Why do you feel this way in the first place? Let's talk about that. And I know, I get it. The INFJs are doing that because they're like, why treat the problem right now in the present? Why don't we go back to the source and shut it off there? The problem is, that's annoying. This leads to INFJs killing their relationships by always looking at them from a bird's eye view and trying to fix them instead of, you know, just actually being in the relationship. Sometimes fixing an issue from the source is not as important as just like having the dialogue now, talking about how a person feels right now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay cool and attractive.